Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel Flow with Adee. In this video, we'll be warming up and focusing on body isolations. You can use this video as a warm-up, or if you're wanting to work on simply that, more body control, awareness, isolating through the shoulders, chest, back, hips, all that good stuff. So we'll go ahead and begin in a seated position, lengthening up through the crown of our head as if a string is running along your spine, out to the top of your head, reaching up, finding a little more length. Inhale, draw the shoulders up, and exhale, drop them down and back, creating a big roll in the shoulders, lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering, smoothing out those circles, taking them at your own pace. Anytime during this video, if you want to pause, watch what I'm doing a little bit, practice, and then catch right back on, that's totally cool. If you haven't worked much with body isolations or overall body awareness, some of these movements may feel a little weird to you, and that's totally normal. So reversing those circles if you haven't already. Is taking your time to learn your body, moving slowly as you need to. And shake out your shoulders a little. So lifting your right shoulder up, drawing a big circle, and then lifting your left. Right and left. You may feel like you're dancing here. That's exactly what I want. Rolling one shoulder, then the other, switching sides each time. And begin to work it into a bit of a side to side. So instead of a circle, lifting and dropping, but pressing your chest to one side and the other. Right and left, right and left. A couple more. Deepening out on both sides and returning to center. Once you're in center, take a big roll in your shoulders, centering yourself in. And as you inhale, pressing the chest forward, opening the rib cage. Exhale and drawing back, rounding through the back. Inhale and open forward. Exhale, rounding the back. So you can think of this as a seated cat-cow. Pressing forward and rounding back, pressing and rounding. Now see if you can hold your lower body more in the same position. So from your navel down, see if you can keep that stationary while moving your chest. Just opening and closing. There will be some movement, but trying to bring most of it happening through your chest, your back, moving your rib cage. So finding yourself back at center. Turning the gaze high, leaning forward. Pressing the rib cage to your right, to the back, to your left, and to the front. One more time. Press right, back, left, and front. Beginning to smooth that out into a circle. Moving with breath here. Really think about pressing into each edge of the circle, if you will. You can practice around, and I'm showing a bit here, exaggerating the motion and then really concentrating it as I am here, trying to stay as stationary as I can through my lower body and really moving through my rib cage. Find your way back to center, and we'll move the other way, so pressing forward to your left, to your back, your right, and front. Left, back, right, and front. And smoothing that out into a circle. Again, exaggerating the movement and concentrating it. And play around with both of those. Here I'm beginning to concentrate, really holding steady. And this will become an ab workout as well if you're doing it right. Finding center, dropping the shoulders. Inhale, a big roll up, and exhale, down. Drop your chin towards your chest. And roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder for a stretch across the left side of your neck. Through center, and stretch out the other side. Return to center, roll your head up long onto your neck, and begin to drop down. We're working a little bit of isolations here, so if you want to watch first, what happens is we drop chin to chest, roll through, press the chest, roll up, drop chin to chest, round through the back. So creating a bit of a wave in our body, rolling through and opening up and back, rolling, pulling the belly in, swooping forward. Moving a little slower here, takes a lot of thought. Reversing the direction, so sending the gaze slightly up. The belly drops first, then the chest, then the chin, round through the low back to the up back to the neck. And feel free to use your shoulders a little more as I'm showing here. Allowing the elbows to come out a little to either side may help you find the wave you're looking for. Go ahead and switch which leg was on top in your seated position. Just even out a little bit. Taking hands low, and we'll take some time to stretch out the hips. Leaning in side to side. You can bring your hands to your knees or on the floor, either behind you or in front of you. Eventually make your way onto all fours, shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. We'll draw the right knee into chest and draw a big circle out to the right. So opening up through the hip to the right, opening up. And we have 4, 3, 2, and 1, and drop that knee down, and we'll switch to the other side. Left knee comes in, opening up and out. And take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping the knee. Wiggling out a little left and right first, and we'll begin to create a wave in our body that's lateral. So finding center, dropping the right hip over to the right, rolling up to the side of the body and over to the left. Boom, boom. So hips are swaying back and forth, but they're drawing a bit of a figure 8 movement. So think of one side of your body. So drop the right hip, roll up through the side body, and come on over to the other. So drop the right, drop the left. The wave continues up the body as you're moving the hips to the other side. So continuing this, making it even on both sides. So if you're thinking of it from the left, you drop the left, the rib cage comes to the left, and the left shoulder comes out, and then you're starting on the right. Whew. So if you practice that a few times, we'll go ahead and make waves forward and backwards. So swooping under, dropping the elbows, and then pressing through the hands. Rounding back. It's like a level 2 cat-cow here. So rounding, all it is a drop down between the cow and the cat. Cow, drop, cat. Pull yourself into neutral spine and lowering back to sitting on your heels. If you need to lift up a little bit to take the weight off your heels, that's totally cool. So keeping the upper body as stationary as possible, pressing the hips over to your right and your left. And you will be lifting a little bit up off your heels, so you won't be sliding across your heels. Pressing forward and back. So pressing the hips back and then pulling the tailbone under. Pressing and tucking. You did a couple of those and practice on your own time. Or begin to draw a circle with your pelvis. And switching directions, hips to one side and the other. Rolling through center. Holding right back at center and beginning to come on up to your knees. More hip isolation work, dropping into the right side and to the left. Right and left. So drawing a figure 8, right forward and back, left forward, back, forward, back. Figure 8 on the right and the left. Left, right, left. If you're figuring it out, feel free to do it smoothly on your own time. I stopped to show the movement a little clearer. It feels good to lift your hands from your hips. You can do so. Eventually sitting it back down on our heels. Rounding out. Taking a big stretch in the upper back. And a roll in the shoulders. So we begin to draw a wave in our body here. So rounding out forward, hands on the knees, swooping the chest forward and lifting the hips a little to continue the motion. Press head, chest, belly, hips. Press head, chest, belly, hips. Nice. One more. Head, chest, belly, hips. Sit it back. And we'll begin to sit up tall, bringing the legs a little bit wider. And taking those circles one more time. So lifting the hips a teeny tiny bit. Pressing around in one direction. And trying to keep your upper body as stable as possible. Switching directions. Rounding out and take hands in front, pressing back to a wide-kneed child's pose. And we'll draw a big circle with our hips. Lean forward and over towards your right, through center to the left, and pressing back. Draw a big circle a couple times around this direction. Pause. And switch directions. One more, and hold in your child's pose. That is all I have for you in this little flow. Hopefully you feel warm and worked a little on isolations and body control. Thank you all for joining me. Namaste.